Welcome back to the channel. My name's Anthony and this is my shop. I'm working on Rachel's S10. I guess years and years and years ago somebody scotched locked in the trailer lights and they've had it. So I'm just doing a quick fix here to get it done. But I have some content I wanted to bring for you guys. Even my phone will stay there. So Scotch locks really are a horrible thing to fix anything with. So what I'm doing is I'm going to pull the Scotch locks off. The Scotch lock, all it is a piggyback that just pierces the two wires and then it lets moisture and corrosion in over a period of time. It's not a real good thing. So what I'm doing here is stripping them back and then I'm soldering them in. I'm not looking for perfect here, but whatever I do will be way better than what somebody else did to this 2000 S10. So once I get the wires exposed, I'm just going to solder everything in. And this truck spends most of its time in fresh water. If it was salt water, this truck would be toast. Lead-free solder, baby. My eyes are getting so not good for this. So anyway, stay with me. So used oil recovery, on average, depending on what the market is usually free or a small charge. The last 2 years it's been a roller coaster, maybe even a little bit longer, for used oil recovery. And I've had the same guy for a long time. I think one guy got pulled off our route long ago, and then we've had the same guy for a long period of time. We have, you know, he's not the owner, he's not the boss, he's just the route driver. They get paid on, I guess, commission on how much stuff they pick up. I don't really know how it works, but over the years it's always been like, I don't know. Sometimes, the majority of the time, it's been free. But as the price of oil goes up, you know, lowering your cost of getting rid of oil is important, especially when you're not really making a whole lot of money on oil changes like most quick lubes are. Quick lubes are making major profit on oil changes. Guys in the regular repair shops are not. Even dealerships are probably getting more money nowadays for oil changes than ever, for many reasons. So, the last, was it 3 months ago? I'm going to say at least 3 months ago, he was here, and I typically expect 0, right, for oil recovery, because he just hands me a receipt that says 0.
Oh, yeah.
And not only that, for environmental purposes, like if anyone ever questions where our oil go, right, I can support where it goes, you know?
Yeah.
That we have it professionally removed and it goes off to whatever they do. Turns into tires or landscape or rubber products or oil or whatever the case. So he handed me a bill, I think it was like $150. And I'm like, what's up? He's like, yeah, it's full tank. He goes, yeah, we got to charge it now. And I'm like, where does 4 times, 5 times normally what I pay come from? He's like, it is what it is. And I was like, all right. I said, I'll pay it, right, because I don't know what's going on. I didn't make any phone calls. So then I reach out to another M dealer, right? Say, hey, what's going on? What are you paying for oil? He's saying it's free right now. I'm like, from who? And it would have been nice that I knew this prior to this, right? Because I would have switched a long time ago. But it was free from the guy pretty much for where I was for a long period of time. So he says it, I call and they're like, yep, for the M's, it's a special, you know. And then we got on the tail end of it, and I got 1 pickup for free. Right? It's either one or 2 pickups for free, and then the third pickup they came and got 250 gallons because I had the Sea-Doo guy that, you know, that I know. They told him it was like $500 to come to his place and pick up his oil. And they gave him a high price so they you know, didn't have to make the trip out. That's basically what he felt and I felt, right? And I said, wow, that's a lot. I said, just bring it here. I don't usually pay for it, and I'll get rid of it. And I actually wound up having to pay that time from the new vendor, and I think it was like 20 bucks, which was cool, right?
Yeah.
So magically the other vendor shows up today and says, you cut me out, and I'm like, no dude, the same day that you came here and hit me with the bill, I called you after I did some research and said, I have a vendor that's going to do it for free. And he said, there's nothing I can do. And I was like, okay, well, you know, I don't know. And I actually sent him, a picture of the receipt. The first pickup was free.
Yeah.
So then this is like 2 months later, he shows up, he's like, hey, you guys cut me out? I'm like, yeah, dude, I can't pay $200 for used oil removal. Can't do it.
Yeah.
He goes, you know, we just heard similar thing that you guys aren't on that program anymore, and it is what it is. So he said, can you just get me a receipt from the last pickup for you? And I said, yes. I swear it was 26 bucks or under $30.
Yeah.
It definitely wasn't over $50.
Yeah.
And I would have gladly, happily paid it. But my point to the story is, since I've been doing business with him for so long, even if he said, hey, Aunt, I could do it for $50, even though the other place was doing it for free for a short amount of time, not knowing that most places do things like that.
Just
like,
keep the relationship.
No different. So no different than when, what is that place that opened up on Haddonfield Road?
No idea.
The Sam.
Oh, Boy Rogers?
Boy Rogers opened up. They gave free meals away for a year for the first 50 customers. No different than when Jiffy Lube opens up. It was a line around the block for free oil changes for the first couple days that they were open. And then your next oil change was 50% off, and then your next one was retail with a coupon price. Follow me? So there is some things that they try and bait you in, and they know that business people are busy. Sometimes they're not watching cost of goods and expenses that fast, and between the lines don't make money. You get it? So for me, since I'm on ground floor and ground zero every day, I have a real good eye on my cost of goods and operations all the time. Not only my eyes, but Rachel's like, hey, something's not right. We're all like, hey, well, that's not right.
I had to spray clean $10 more in case than it normally is.
Yeah. So,
Like that.
and I said to him, I said, if you were $50 to come out here and get my oil, I understand that, and I can continue to do business with you. And I would do that even though I could have gotten it for free from a new vendor, right?
Yeah.
Not knowing that the new vendor program expired, and now there's a cost to it, which is still affordable.
Yeah.
But like I said to you, I gave him an opportunity to make the relationship work. Still, even though I wasn't willing to pay for any of it, knowing that I had to pay him $50.
And for anybody saying that it's that $100, $200 shouldn't be a big deal with shop pulling in money, that takes away all of our profit from oil changes.
Right. Yeah.
Like there's no profit in oil changes to begin with.
Well, at our pricing structure, there's very little profit.
Well, that's my point.
Right. Very.
But
our
then
pricing.
that $250 oil pickup
Right.
completely eliminates any oil
Right.
profit that was there.
Right.
Again,
Pay the guys, pay royalties, pay
Bills,
taxes,
everything.
pay the bills, equipment wear and tear. And that's why you see a Quick Lube survive, and their bays aren't packed, because they're making 3 times cost of goods on oil change,
Yep.
if not more.
Yep.
That's not going on in your mom and pop's renter. Some of them probably are, but
I mean,
we're not on that pricing
my
structure.
buddy's service writer over at Marty's on River Road, Broad Street, whatever it is.
Yeah.
He said that
I'm
last
going to
year.
solder this wire. Yeah, listen.
Last year they tallied up how much they made from oil changes, and it was like under $10 profit.
And what did they do?
For an entire
They
year.
raised their they raised their prices, right? We
no
have
idea.
to.
I have no idea. But I mean,
So that's another shop that uses the oil change, right? So
as
he-
a means to get people.
as
in
a
the
means
door.
to get people in the door, but he's losing money.
Yep.
So that's not a good business model.
But well, a lot of their customers are lifelong.
I will tell you, all of our loyal customers that we have here, if we told them we had to raise our oil change prices, they wouldn't care about a $10 or $20 price.
Well, exactly.
It's the
But
customers that we don't see all the time,
It's
or the ones that would have a
a fit.
yeah.
But the majority of their customers are like our loyal customers.
Yeah, so
Small mom and pop shop.
I would
built
tell
that
him-
relationship up over the years.
like I told our Mercedes guy, he asked me what we charge for Mercedes oil change, and he said to me, he goes, "I'm too cheap." I'm like, "Yeah, you're too cheap. And he raised his prices.
Yeah.
His customers are still, his regular customers will still come. The other customers will not come. Or they won't show up. Alright, so that's my band-aid for that. Let's see if everything works.
I'm almost.
Yes.
I know.
But anyway, I gave an opportunity to continue the relationship. It may have been out of his control, or he didn't think that I was going to sever it, and I did. It's like, all right, well, I'm not going to call you for oil anymore. You know, just like when I first opened here, I had an oil company that followed me from the Northeast. So that you're talking, by the time he sold his business, we had a near 25-year relationship. He gave me my first tank of oil on the IOU, meaning I didn't have to pay for it until my next order delivery, and he did that. Like,
Okay.
once I used that oil, then I would pay for that oil, and then the next delivery he would do it. And he did that for 6 months while I was open. That's a seriously good dude relationship. Gave me a free oil pump with oil gun. Anytime there was problems, came out and fixed them. That's loyalty and service. So even if his prices were a little bit higher,
It was
I would
worth it.
I would stay with this guy because the same thing with our cat recycler. I don't care if Eric's not giving me the best top dollars, and maybe he is, and I don't even care to shop around because I got a near 30-year relationship with this guy, and it's worth me seeing his face, even though I don't know for a fact that I could be getting more. I
Yeah.
could be getting less. But you know what? He's never steered me wrong, and he's consistent and he's loyal. So, and even if Eric said, "Hey, I can't give you what some guys are getting," I understand, Eric. When things get better, it'll all work out. Just keep the relationship going. But he was kind of shocked when he came in here today, like I didn't call him. I gave you an opportunity to work with me. You didn't do anything with it, so don't take it personal. I mean, this point was just business,
Yeah.
you know. So I figured if anybody else is out there going through, you know, used oil recycling or antifreeze or water, you owe it to yourself to shop around. If you don't have a player playing good with you, right?
Absolutely.
Did you have something you wanted to say? I would tell Marcus to raise his price.
No. Oh, well, I don't know what their price point is at all. But
Yeah.
I
You
gotta
can't
talk
run
to
that
my buddy.
product line and have it to be,
A loser.
yeah,
I don't know.
complete.
Yeah.
And then at that, like all these Quick Lubes and Jiffy Lubes and Take Fives and all these other guys, at least they have big profit if they blow an engine, right? Their
Yeah.
insurance is covering it. The other shops that are eating engines for zero profit, that's a real kick in the wallet.
Yeah.
Woo! All right, I think that's all I gotta say.
All right. Sweet.